In 2024, the United States government allocated a staggering $697 million in aid to Afghanistan. This decision, made despite the Taliban's firm grip on the nation, has sparked outrage and ignited a fierce debate. The Taliban, designated as a global terrorist organization, now controls the very country, receiving hundreds of millions in US taxpayer dollars. This begs the question, how can the US justify sending aid to a nation controlled by a group it deems a terrorist threat? The heart of the controversy lies with the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID. Tasked with administering civilian foreign aid, USAID alone contributed $534,719,000 of the total sum allocated to Afghanistan. This staggering figure represents a significant portion of USAID's annual budget, which typically falls between $40 and $50 billion. Critics argue that this money, intended for humanitarian aid and development, risks falling into the wrong hands, potentially bolstering the very forces the US seeks to combat. The allocation of such substantial funds to a nation ruled by the Taliban presents a troubling paradox. On one hand, the US government maintains its commitment to providing humanitarian assistance to those in need, regardless of their government. On the other hand, the Taliban's brutal regime, notorious for its human rights abuses and suppression of basic freedoms, casts a long shadow over the effectiveness and ethical implications of funneling US aid into Afghanistan. The debate surrounding US aid to Afghanistan is complex and multifaceted. While the desire to alleviate suffering and promote development is commendable, the current situation in Afghanistan raises serious concerns about the potential for aid to be misappropriated, misused, or even used to strengthen the Taliban's grip on power. As the US grapples with this dilemma, the need for transparency, accountability, and a reassessment of aid strategies has never been more critical. The specter of terrorism looms large over the debate surrounding US aid to Afghanistan. With the Taliban in control, concerns about the potential diversion of funds to terrorist groups are not merely hypothetical, but a chilling reality. Evidence suggests that a portion of the aid money may be finding its way into the coffers of organizations such as the Haqqani Network, a notorious terrorist group with deep ties to the Taliban. Adding fuel to the fire are allegations of funds being funneled to individuals with direct links to terrorism, including associates of Osama bin Laden. The possibility of US taxpayer dollars indirectly supporting madrasas, training camps, and even terrorist operations by groups like ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Boko Haram is a deeply unsettling prospect. While concrete evidence remains elusive, the potential for such a scenario is undeniable, casting a dark cloud over US aid efforts in Afghanistan. The flow of money in a conflict zone like Afghanistan is notoriously difficult to track. The opaque nature of financial transactions, coupled with the Taliban's tight grip on information, makes it challenging to determine the final destination of US aid. However, the potential for misuse is undeniable, and the lack of transparency only amplifies concerns about the funding of terrorism. The US government faces a daunting task, ensuring that aid reaches those in desperate need while preventing it from falling into the wrong hands. This requires rigorous oversight, stringent accountability measures, and a thorough vetting process for aid recipients. Failure to address these concerns risks undermining the very purpose of humanitarian aid and further destabilizing the region. A legacy tarnished, USAID's troubled history and uncertain future. Delivering aid in Afghanistan, well, it's no small feat. Numerous obstacles stand in the way. First, the rugged terrain makes transportation a logistical nightmare. Then there are security concerns. Conflict zones and the presence of armed groups complicate access. Bureaucratic red tape and corruption further hinder the process, making it even more challenging to get aid where it's needed most. Lastly, there's the issue of coordination among various aid agencies, which often leads to inefficiencies and duplication of efforts. Despite these challenges, dedicated organizations and individuals continue to strive for effective aid delivery in this complex environment. So, what does the path forward look like in such a complex world? Well, it requires a multifaceted approach. Strengthening local governance and institutions is crucial. Enhancing security measures to ensure safe passage for aid workers is also essential. Moreover, fostering better coordination among international and local aid agencies can significantly improve efficiency. And of course, addressing the root causes of conflict and instability is vital for long-term progress. Ultimately, it's about building a sustainable future one step at a time with resilience and determination. By working together, we can overcome these challenges and create lasting positive change.